Good evening and welcome. I'm Rick Novak from 36 Nason Hill Road, and welcome to the Town of Sherborn 2025 Caucus. I'm the 2025 Caucus Committee Chair. We will try to get you out of here in about an hour or less. As always, Town Caucus does not appear by magic, and there's a long list of supporters and volunteers to thank. Please hold your applause till the end so we can thank them on a collective basis. We thank Corinne Whitaker, who's not here, but the Sherborn Community Center Foundation for the very generous donation of space for our use tonight. We also thank the student directors, Jay Bai, Esther Mazzulli, Layla Shanahan, Reed Stravick, and Olivia Ray, only three of whom are here tonight, and we'll hear from two of them later. Cam Crandall and Brad Crandall, the famous Crandall brothers from DSTV, are here doing their usual excellent video support. Jackie Morris, Town Clerk. Is Jackie here? There she is. Jackie Morris, Town Clerk, who keeps all of us on the straight and narrow path for all of our filings and timing. We're holding to the end. We're holding to the end. Pam Dowse, who served as Caucus Clerk last year and might do so again tonight if I beg. And then finally, our seasoned team of check-in clerks, Jeannie Snark Guthrie, Marianne Clancy, Abby Fisk, and Hannah Ireland. Finally, our tellers, our tellers, Sam Van Blarkum, Tom Trainer, Steve Leahy, and George Fisk, who now is doing it for a second year and is starting to get the hang of caucus. We're all glad to know that, George. And finally, the caucus committee, Sam Nelson and I are being put out to pasture. I am hopeful that the current 25 Caucus Committee member, Meg Hyde of Mill Street, will re-up and that she will be joined by top draft picks, Abby Fisk and Doug Brown. Meg and Sam have been invaluable this year behind the scenes and have done far more than I have. As usual, I'm just the empty suit up here on stage, except it's a LL Bean sweater, but close enough. So please join me in a round of applause for all of the caucus volunteers. Okay, another preliminary item. There was an error on your list of town officers. The committee failed. Under Planning Board, we should have listed Robert Wolf as an incumbent whose office is up. We left his name off. We apologize for the inconvenience. Please write him in as the incumbent right below Addie Mae Weiss, excuse me, on your sheets. Okay, now I'd like to invite two of the student directors of the community center to come forward and introduce themselves and say a few words if they wish.
Thank you, Mr. Novak, and good evening. My name is Jai Bay, and I'm a student director here at the 1858 Sherborn Townhouse. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone here to the 2025 Sherborn Town Caucus. Tonight's venue is located in one of Sherborn's finest historic buildings. This building was built in 1858, and after 167 years of existence, it continues to thrive as a gathering place for all members of the community. The Sherborn Community Center Foundation is the nonprofit organization that manages and maintains this building. We are 100% self-funding and receive no money from the town, meaning the foundation receives no tax-related support. We rely solely on rental income and membership donations to maintain and manage this beautiful historic jewel. Since the inception of the Student Director Program, we have held dances, game nights, movie nights, the ever-popular Vote and Donate, and Jammin' in the Red, which is a special night where high school musicians perform for a high school audience. I am very proud and excited to be a part of this organization. And now, I'd like to introduce you all to my fellow Student Director, Esther Mazzulli.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Jai. Again, my name is Esther Mazzulli, and I'm also a student director here at the 1858 Townhouse. One of our largest assets is the volunteer board, made up of dedicated adults and 5 dedicated and very enthusiastic students who devote their time and energy into making the Sherborn Community Center a safer environment for everyone and a place for high school students to hang out. I would like to take a moment to reflect upon the Sherborn Community Center mission statements. It states, to promote a sense of community by ensuring that this community center is available to and used by Sherborn groups and organizations at minimal or no cost, and to fund, preserve, maintain, and schedule the use of this historic building. Tonight, I am proud to report that after 39 years since the foundation rebuilt and took over the operations of this building, we will continue our mission to be a place for everyone. Thank you all for coming and participating in this very important political process. I wish all the prospective candidates luck this evening.
Thank you both very much. All right, we're on to the main event. Ground rules as usual. Sherborn Town Caucus is a nonpartisan event. Like town meeting, is a citizens' chance to participate in democracy at its most granular. Volunteer community service remains the lifeblood of New England small towns, and every qualified volunteer is needed to solve Sherborn's many challenges. If you care about your town at all, please, please be part of that solution, as our traditional volunteer base is shrinking quickly. Just like town meeting, we come together as citizens and leave as neighbors. That means no clapping, no booing, no interrupting, no shouting insults or other behaviors you might have learned watching the recent presidential election. Being serious, if you are nominating someone, please approach the microphone and wait to be recognized by the moderator. Start with your name and address. Speeches can and should be very short, 1 to 2 minutes. We'd love to know all about the nominee as a local citizen and why they would fit the office. But the fascinating details of their Eagle Scout project or their Girl Scout Cookie Sales Championship are best suited for another venue. Being the caucus nominee only puts you on the ballot for town election. This year, that's May 13th. If you're not the caucus nominee, you can still run and be on the town ballot. Let's say you wake up tomorrow morning seized with an overpowering urge to create a contested race for trustee of Salwin Academy. You can still... Does that amuse you? You can still get nomination papers through March 21 and file them by March 25th. I note that we have more than 25 voters here tonight, and accordingly a quorum is present. I will now read the caucus call. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 53 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and amendments thereto, if any, in the caucus of the registered voters of the town of Sherborn, Massachusetts, hereby called and to be held at the Community Center, Sherborn, Massachusetts, on Thursday, March 6, 2025, at 8 p.m., for the purpose of nominating candidates for the various town offices to be filed at the annual town election to be held Tuesday, March 13, 2025, to elect a town caucus committee and transact any other business that may legally come before the meeting. The meeting will be called to order by a member of the town committee. The checklist of registered voters will be used. Town caucus committee: Richard S. Novak, Margaret L. Hyde, Samuel Ham, Nelson. It's the hardest part. All right, next we need a caucus clerk. I hereby ask for nominations for caucus clerk of the 2025 Town Caucus. Sam, do you want to nominate Pam? Pam Dowse has been nominated. Is there a second to that nomination? It's moved and seconded. Are there any other nominations for 2025 Town Caucus clerk? Okay, hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Pam Dowse and to serve as clerk. So moved? Seconded. Okay. Moved. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Please. Thank you as always. You can even have the gavel.
Oh, don't do that. I'm sorry.
At home, I never let a woman behind me with a gavel. Okay, now we need a moderator to run the town caucus. This is usually a very hard-fought race. I hereby ask for nominations for the position of moderator of the 2025 Town Caucus.
I nominate Rick Novak to be nominated moderator of the 2025 Town Caucus.
Is there a sec? There's moved and seconded. Are there any other nominations? Okay. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed. We'll entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Rick Novak to serve as moderator. So moved, seconded. All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion carries. Thank you all so much. Let's get to the list of offices. All right. First up is Town Moderator. A one-year term expires in 2026. Current incumbent is Michael Jaimo. Are there any nominations for the office of Town Moderator? Yes, sir.
Sean Killeen, 1 Butler Street. I nominate Mike Giammo.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Are there any other nominations for Town Meeting Moderator? Hearing none. All right. Michael Jaimo has been nominated. Is there a second? Seconded? Okay. And no other nomination. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast 1 ballot for Michael Jaimo to serve as Town Meeting Moderator. So moved. Seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Congratulations. Mike, can you please sign the acceptance? Meg will hunt you down. Okay. Next up, Select Board. Two different slots, 3-year terms. First is a slot currently held by Eric Johnson. Are there any nominations for Eric Johnson's slot on the Select Board?
Yeah, Eric Johnson, 20 Snow Street. I'd like to nominate Dan Sickle.
Okay.
Should I read his bio now or wait?
No, we'll wait for a moment. Is there Dan Sickle has been nominated? Is there a second? Second. I'll take one of the seconds over there, not you. Moved and second. Okay. Are there any other nominations for Eric Johnson's slot on the Select Board? Okay. And Dan, can you stand up just so people? There he is, right there. Okay. All right. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast 1 ballot for Dan Sickle to serve as for a 3-year term on Select Board in the slot currently held by Eric Johnson. So moved? So moved? Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Dan, can you please sign the acceptance? Okay. Now you can act again. Okay, next up, also Select Board, 3-year term. Office currently held by Jeffrey R. Walden. Is there anyone nominate the Select Board slot held by Jeffrey Walden? Yes, ma'am.
Jackie Morris, 56 Harrington Ridge Road. I'd like to nominate Jeff Waldron for another term of Select Board.
All right. And there's a second. Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast 1 ballot for Jeff Waldron to serve in Jeff Waldron's seat on the Select Board. Is there so moved? Seconded? So moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Jeff. You're stuck with us again. Please sign the acceptance. He's standing right there in the back for those of you who don't know him. Okay. Town clerk, no. Sherborn School Committee, 2 slots, 3-year terms each. First is a slot held by Kristen Aberley.
Hi, I'm Kristen Aberley, 27 Deerfield, and I'd like to nominate Kate Manzolini.
All right. All right, we've got Kate Manzolini.
Yes, good evening. I'm Christine Walsh. I'm rolling off this year, and I would like to nominate Bill Alfano.
Okay, but that office isn't being run right now. If I can just ask you to wait, then we'll install somebody in her slot, and then there are 2 different slots.
Yes.
And are you nominating someone to run against Kate?
No, for the other slot. Apologies.
If you wait just a moment,
Yes,
okay, no worries. Okay. Is there anyone else to run in Kristen Aberley's slot for the Sherborn School Committee? Any other nominations? All right, and I think there was a second for her? Okay. So, hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast 1 ballot for Kate Manzolini to serve in Kristen Aberley's former spot on the Sherborn School Committee. So moved? Seconded? Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Oh, yes. So, Kate, can you stand? You're right. There she is. Okay. Thank you. And would you please, Kate, would you please sign the form? Meg will hunt you down. All right. Now.
Yes.
Next up is a slot held by Christine Walsh, Sherborn School Committee, 3 years. Are there any nominations for anyone to fit that slot?
Yes, and may I read this?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, so I'm pleased to nominate Bill Alfano for the open position on the Sherborn School Committee. Bill is a Sherborn resident, an experienced town leader, an advocate for others who cannot speak for themselves, and perhaps most importantly, a proud Pine Hill father of third grader Maxwell. Bill is a clear, honest communicator, compassionate connector. He works tirelessly to ensure that all voices are heard and represented. As the Vice President of Marketing and Strategic Partnerships for the PanMass Challenge, Bill uses his wide skill set to raise vital funding that will create a new era of cancer care and research. Before the PanMass Challenge, Bill spent many years in radio at Entercom and Clear Channel. He knows the importance of clear communication, asking questions, listening, and identifying ways to bring people together. He lived it, and he worked it, and he will make it happen for our town. Bill comes to us with a solid background in town leadership, having served on the Natick Economic Development Committee, and also as a member of the Greg Hill Foundation, a local foundation that raises funds for those in New England who are impacted by tragic circumstances and natural disasters. Whenever and wherever possible, you can find Bill working for the underdog. Always present at Pine Hill's all-school meeting, Bill is no stranger to volunteering for our kids. When his wife Emily volunteered her time to chair the 2023 Pine Hill Gala, Bill was right by her side, volunteering as the event's MC. Needless to say, with the Alfano family on board, the event was an astounding success. As a member of the Sherborn School Committee, I have no doubt that Bill's talents around negotiation, the ability to create and sustain long-term visions and goals for our community, and the ability to listen, represent, and share outcomes will make him a highly valuable member. I also have no doubt that Bill will not sleep as he ensures that every child, every voice is represented. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And speaking of where you can find Bill, where is Bill? There he is. Okay, thank you. Thank you for standing up. Okay, is there a second for Bill's nomination? There's a second. Okay, having been moved and seconded, are there any other nominations for the spot on the Sherborn School Committee currently held by Christine Walsh? Okay, hearing none, I declare the nominations closed. We'll entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Bill Alfonso to serve as Sherborn School Committee member for a 3-year term. Second? Seconded. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Motion carries. Bill, you're in. Thank you so much. All right, next up. Trustees of Salwin Academy, always a hotbed of contention. This is a 5-year term currently held by Elizabeth Hoffman. Is there anyone to nominate anybody for Elizabeth Hoffman's spot on the Trustees of Salwin Academy? Sir.
Yes, good evening. Dave Welch, 64 South Main Street. Want to nominate Elizabeth Hoffman.
Okay. That's been seconded. Are there any other nominations for the trustee of Salwin Academy? Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed. We'll entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot to serve as one ballot for Elizabeth Hoffman to serve another 5-year term as a trustee of Salwin Academy. Is there a second for that motion? There is a second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? All right, she's in. Oh, Elizabeth, are you here? There she is. She's at the back waving at us. Okay. Okay. Library trustees, 3-year terms. First up, the slot currently held by Brian Connolly. Are there any nominees for the library trustee slot currently held by Brian Connolly? Sir.
Yeah. I'm Tom Van Langen, 27 Snow Street, and I nominate Brian Connolly.
Okay. Is there a second? There is a second. Okay. Are there any further nominations for Brian Connolly's slot on the library trustees? Okay. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Brian Connolly to serve as library trustee for a 3-year term once again, and there's a second for that. So all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Okay. Motion carries. Brian Connolly's in. Next up, library trustee, 3-year term. Seth David Malloy is the current incumbent. Are there any nominees for Seth David Malloy's spot? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Brian Connolly, 9 Thoroughbred, and I'd like to nominate Seth Malloy.
Okay. Is there a second? Here's a second. Okay. Are there any further nominations for Seth Malloy's spot? Okay. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed. We'll entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Seth David Malloy to serve as library trustee for another 3-year term, and there's a second for that. Therefore, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Seth's back in place. Thank you, everybody. All right, next up, library trustee, 3-year term, Thomas Van Langen slot. Yes, sir.
Seth Malloy, 176 Weston Ave. I'd like to nominate Tom Van Langen.
Okay. And are there any other and it's been seconded. Thank you, sir. Whoops. And is there another nomination for Tom Van Langen's slot?
Yes, one more. Hi, my name is Gail Murphy, 1 Town Line Road. I'm here to nominate Alexandra Frank of 62 Maple Street for library trustee. For those who don't know me, my name's Gail Murphy. I've lived in Sherborn for 25 years, have served on a lot of committees, and I understand the skills, passion, and willingness it takes to serve the community. I support Alexandra because she does possess the necessary attributes to be a valuable asset to the town library. Alexandra, her husband Maurizio, and their twin daughters moved to Sherborn 3 years ago. Alexandra is a wonderful mother and wife who passionately advocates for and is dedicated to her daughters and her husband. She is also a veterinarian in a thriving Needham practice. She has received numerous academic accolades and has held many leadership roles in both her academic and professional careers. While attending North Carolina Veterinarian School, she chaired the Open House Committee, a liaison position to strengthen school relations within a community. Alexandra has a unique and an interesting background that has exposed her to culturally diverse individuals throughout her lifetime. She's the granddaughter of a former Norwegian diplomat, and her husband is from Milan, Italy. In addition to having lived in Italy for 8 months, she has traveled extensively throughout Europe. Although English is her primary language, Alexandra also speaks French, Italian, and Spanish. These experiences have instilled an appreciation for respecting all people and cultures, which will serve her very well at the library. During her travels and moves, Alexandra has sought out libraries everywhere that she has lived and visited. She thinks of libraries as one of the community's most important institutions, as a home base, and most importantly, the heart of a community. She understands that a community needs a strong library that serves all citizens and recognizes the importance of the library adhering to overall master town plan. When I was talking to Alexandra about the library, she stated, libraries are houses of knowledge with the power to bring a community together in a safe space where all are accepted. They provide education, cultural experiences, resources, and much more to both the young and old. Anyone who talks to Alexandra for more than 5 minutes will immediately recognize her intelligence, her boundless energy, and passion in everything she does. She is a proactive, outside-the-box thinker that will make her an outstanding steward of the library. Although she has only lived here for 3 years, she already wants to be involved and give back to our town. And finally, she's an avid cyclist, and you may have already seen her biking around town. Next time, flag her down, ask her a question, chat. She does some of her best thinking on her bike. Please join me in supporting Alexandra for library trustee. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And under the, even though it was abolished in the Reagan administration, something called the Fairness Doctrine. Seth, I think you nominated Tom. Do you want to make a brief?
Yes, please.
Oh, is there a second for Alexandra? Yes, there is. Okay, so both have been moved and seconded. Thank you.
Since 2022, Tom has been a dedicated Sherborn Library trustee, actively contributing to the personnel, planning, and policy and finance subcommittees. His efforts contributed to the hiring of a new library director, several new policies, and the building's reopening in March 2023. Tom is a staunch advocate for the freedom to read, ensuring that the library remains a bastion of knowledge and inclusivity. Tom has called Sherborn home for 9 years, living with Amy, his wife, their daughter, in 4th grade at Pine Hill, and their son attending ECDC. Professionally, Tom has held several leadership roles in operations and analytics at prominent technology companies, such as VMware, Autodesk, and currently he leads operations for QuickBase, a software-based company in Boston. Tom leverages his professional experience to benefit the Sherborn Library trustees, bringing a wealth of skills in operations and analytics to the table. He also serves on the Pine Hill Advisory Council. Tom views the library as a vital gathering spot for the community. His vision for the library is to continue its mission of being an accessible, trusted, and welcoming space for all residents, from preschoolers to senior citizens. He aims to foster collaboration with the schools, town departments, and community groups to promote cultural enrichment through diverse events and programs. By seeking re-election as library trustee, Tom is dedicated to furthering the library's mission and enhancing its role as a community hub. His leadership and vision will continue to make the Sherborn Library a welcoming and enriching space for everyone. Thank you.
Okay, all right, got it. All right. Well, remember I said how town council keeps us on the straight and narrow? She's going to keep us on the straight and narrow. Apparently, because we had a late entry of a 4th person for a total of 3 slots, we need to do one vote that will cover all 3. So we have 4 nominees: Brian Connolly, Seth David Malloy, Thomas Langen, and Alexandra Frank. And we're going to call Thomas number 1, Alexandra number 2, Seth number 3, and Brian number 4. And here's how we're going to do it. Yeah, that's right. That's true. So the nominators for Seth and Brian, step forward and please make your pitch for your person.
Absolutely. So Brian has been a Sherborn Library trustee since 2016 and the chair of the trustees since 2020. He has helped lead the completion of the library construction project, the hiring of a new library director in 2022, and the building reopening in March 2023, and dramatic increases in library activity and public usage in 2023 and 2024. He's been a Sherborn resident for 26 years and has had 2 children go through the Sherborn public school system from K through 12, and also has volunteered in youth sports, conservation, land management, and local historical activities. Brian has worked for large firms in financial services industry for many years in a variety of roles, including general manager for payments businesses, wealth management, as well as finance and risk management, and brings many of those skills and experiences to the Sherborn Library trustees. He is seeking re-election as the library trustee to continue to lead the library to fulfill its mission to provide the community with free access to information and to promote lifelong education, recreational reading, and cultural advancement. In fulfilling this mission, Brian sees the Sherborn Library as a critical town resource for engaged citizenry. He will continue to work towards making the library an accessible, trusted, welcoming space for all, from preschoolers to senior citizens, and work with local schools and other town departments and community groups to promote cultural enrichment through events and programs and preserve local history.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think we have one more to go.
I nominated Seth Malloy, and Seth has been a library trustee since 2022 and has been a member of the Technology Subcommittee, Library Director Hiring Committee, involved with the library reopening activities, as well as the Secretary of the Trustees over the past year. Seth has also been a member of the Open Space Committee, where he co-authored Sherborn's Open Space and Recreation Plan in 2018. The Land Acquisition Committee, where he introduced the use of GIS technology, and on the Board of Directors of the Sherborn Forest and Trail for 9 years, where he co-authored the second edition of Sherborn Walks in 2018. He's been a resident of Sherborn for 9 years, living with his wife and daughter, who is in second grade at Pine Hill, where Seth occasionally volunteers at the school library. Seth grew up in Westwood and has deep family roots in the region. Professionally, Seth has held technical leadership roles as well as management roles at prominent technology companies such as Analog Devices, Oracle, and currently leading a software engineering team at a Boston-based Internet of Things startup, Blues Wireless. Seth views Sherborn Library as a treasure to the community. It serves as a community center, a center for the educational activities outside the schools, and fundamentally a library with modern and continuously updated collection of literary and educational resources. His leadership and vision will continue to make the Sherborn Library a welcoming and enriching space for everyone.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, well, fun as it would be to have them up on stage and do this musical chairs style, we can't actually do that according to Jackie. So what I want everybody to do is take everybody got a voting slip that looks like this. Take the A tab, the top one, and tear it off. You all have pencils. There are 4 candidates and 3 slots. On your little A slip, write down the 3 names you choose. The 3 numbers you choose. The 3 numbers you choose, okay? Not the names. We'll be here all night with the names. Write down the 3 numbers you choose. Thanks, guys. And then the tellers will sort it out. So everybody got that? Did I explain it right? Oh. Sure, I'll read the names and numbers again. So, number 1 is Thomas Van Langen. Number 2 is Alexandra Frank. Number 3 is Seth Malloy. And number 4 is Brian Connolly. Everybody got that? Yes, please. Sure. Number 1 is Thomas Van Langen. Number 2 is Alexandra Frank. Number 3 is Seth Malloy. And number 4 is Brian Connolly. 2 announcements. One, we have a result. The other is that during the break, Jackie informed me I was down to my last strike, and that if I made one more mistake, I'd be thrown out of town government. Make my day. Okay. The results are 69 votes for Seth Malloy, 68 votes for Brian Connolly, 68 votes for Thomas Langen, and 21 votes for Alexandra Frank. So number 4, number 3, and number 2, Seth, Brian, and Thomas are the caucus nominees. Number 1, sorry, are the caucus nominees. Now, Alexandra can still run by taking out papers, because that was another correction to be made, which is, you know, when you win here, all you win is being the caucus nominee on the town ballot. Doesn't mean you're in. The election's in May. We actually do elections with real votes here. Okay. I'm not going to make it under an hour either, so sue me. All right. Next up, Water Commissioner, 3-year terms, 2 slots. No, we got 2 different slots are open, so we are going to run these separately because they're for separate time periods. The first is a 3-year slot currently held by Tyler Rycroft. Are there any nominations for the Water Commissioner slot held by Tyler Rycroft, please? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Meredith Weslowski at 34 Greenwood Street. I would like to nominate Taylor Rycroft.
Okay. Is there a second? There's a second for Taylor Rycroft. Are there any other nominations for the 3-year Water Commissioner slot? Okay, moved and seconded. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Taylor Rycroft to continue in their slot as Water Commissioner. Second. So moved, seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Taylor, you're the caucus nominee. Taylor, did you stand up so that May could? There we go. So that May can see you. All right. Next up, one-year term on the Water Commissioner, currently held by Meredith Weslowski. Are there any nominations for Meredith Weslowski's term as a Water Commissioner?
Yes, I am Kelly Aducci, 46 Greenwood Street, and I would like to nominate Meredith Weslowski.
Okay. Is there a second? There is a second for Meredith Weslowski. Are there any other nominations for the one-year slot held by Meredith Weslowski as Water Commissioner? Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Meredith Weslowski to serve one-year term as a Water Commissioner. So moved, seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Meredith, congratulations or condolences. You are once again a caucus nominee. Okay. Cemetery Commissioner, one slot open, currently held by Chucky Ray Blaney. Are there any nominations for the Cemetery Commissioner slot held by Chucky Ray Blaney? Yes, ma'am.
Nancy Hess, 64 South Main Street. I have the distinct honor to nominate our long-serving Cemetery Commissioner, Chucky Blaney, for another term.
Okay, is there a second? All right, nominated and second. Are there any other candidates for three-year term on Cemetery Commission currently held by Chucky Blaney? All right, seeing none, I declare the nominations closed and will entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Chucky Blaney to continue to serve a new three-year term as Cemetery Commissioner. Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Chucky, you are the caucus nominee. All right, next up, Planning Board, two slots, each a three-year term. We have to do these nominations as a group. There are two current members. One is Addie Mae Weiss, and the other one, while it does not appear in your printed program, remember I mentioned that we'd left off Rob Wolf. Rob Wolf's slot is also up. Are there any nominations for either of these two slots? Addie.
Hi, Addie Mae Weiss, 1 Jackson Road. I am nominating Brett Piercy for a three-year term on the Planning Board.
Okay. Okay, are there any other oh, it's seconded, thank you. And are there any other nominations for Planning Board?
Yes,
two slots, three-year term.
Marion Deutra and 25 Prospect Street. I nominate Robert Wolf for another three-year term on Planning Board.
All right, Robert Wolf, another three-year term, it's seconded. Are there any further nominations for these two slots on the Planning Board?
May I just say a word about Brett since she's new to the ballot?
You may.
Okay.
But then we're going to let Mary Ann talk about Rob. It's fair. Go ahead. I don't care who goes first.
Okay. Yeah, Rob has lived in Sherborn for over 30 years. He's an electrical engineer with 44 years of industry experience in electronic design, software, systems engineering, project management. He retired from full-time work in 2021, still consults part-time, and he's elected to the Planning Board in 2021 upon retirement. And so after 4 years, he's now well-versed in state and local land use regulations, but he also brings his own special focus to the Planning Board. He's particularly interested in improving the safety of travel around Sherborn on foot and bicycle, for better design of roads, sidewalks, and trails. He's worked on this for a long time. Long before joining the board, Rob worked with the Planning Board and Holliston Trails Committee to help negotiate the extension of the Holliston Rail Trail into Whitney Street in Sherborn. And up till now, that's one of the only places in town that people of all abilities have accessibility and can walk. So he also he's a mountain biker, hiker, and cross-country skier, but he serves on the Sherborn Forest and Trail Association as a trail clearer, but also the treasurer of the association. In the past, he's done a lot for the town. He helped secure funds for a sidewalk on Maple Street to link two neighborhoods. He served on the bike committee, organized public rides, safety demonstrations for biking at the school, and he was an adult leader and scoutmaster of the Sherborn Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. So I hope you'll join me in re-electing Rob to the planning board.
Thank you, Marion. And Addie.
I think I just ruined your attempt to have a record-setting fast caucus tonight. Sorry.
It's not always about me.
I do love, though, hearing sometimes how diverse and educated and interesting our community is. So I just wanted to say, I am not going for another term on planning board, but it's in great hands with the current members, and I really believe Brett Piercy will be an awesome addition because I had the pleasure of serving with her on the housing partnership in 1819 and until we sunsetted the housing partnership, having completed its tasks. And so just a little quick bio on who Brett Piercy is. Her family moved here in 2012. They were attracted by the schools and equestrian community that's active. She's got a 6th grader at Dover Sherborn Middle School, 3rd grader at Pine Hill, and this is where I would geek out that she's got a master's in planning from MIT, a master's in policy analysis from UC San Diego. She's got 2 decades of experience as a planning economics consultant, specializing in evaluating the economic outcomes of infrastructure projects, analyzing the fiscal and economic impacts of proposed land development and infrastructure projects, advising state and local governments on economic development competitiveness. So, like many times you hear what people are doing in this town and you go, wow, this is cool. So just wanted to share. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And Brett and Rob, can you please stand up? Brett, where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay, okay, over there. All right. I hope you get along better than your seating would imply. Okay, well, we only have 2 slots. We only have 2 candidates, no other nominations. Therefore, I'm going to declare the nominations closed. We'll entertain that the clerk cast 1 ballot each for Brett Piercy and Rob Wolf for the 2 open 3-year slots on the planning board. So moved, seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? Okay. You 2 are the caucus nominees. Meg will hunt you down. All right. Regional School Committee, 1 slot, 3-year term, currently held by Catherine Potter. Is there anyone to nominate anybody for Catherine Potter's slot, ma'am?
Hello, Catherine Potter, 4 Snow Street, and I would like to nominate Mary Lauder.
Okay. Thank you. And that's seconded. Okay.
I have a little bit if...
Okay. Sure, go ahead. But if she runs unopposed, we'll be brief, okay?
I'll be brief. Thank you. I am honored to nominate Mary Lauder for a position to the Regional School Committee. Since moving to Sherborn in 2020, Mary has quickly become an integral part of our community, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to our schools and families. She has a student at the Pine Hill Preschool and in the 3rd grade. Mary has been deeply involved in the CSA at Pine Hill, serving as an enrichment coordinator and on the board, now helping lead initiatives for new families. She's an active participant in the Metco Family Friends program, working to foster meaningful communications within our schools. She's deeply involved in the Sherborn Girl Scouts. Mary is a strong advocate for transparency and open dialogue between the community and Regional School Committee. She's passionate about ensuring that every child has the opportunity to thrive, both in the classroom and beyond. Her leadership, dedication, and collaborative spirit will be an asset to the community, and I wholeheartedly support her nomination.
Great. Thank you very much. Mary, are you here? Here she is, right there. Okay. And are there any other nominations for the 3-year slot formerly held by Catherine Potter on the Dover Sherborn Regional School Committee? Going once, going twice. Okay. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed. Then we'll entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Mary Lauder to serve a 3-year term on the Dover-Sherborn Regional School Committee. Moved, seconded. All in favor, aye. Opposed, nay? I'm going to score that as an aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations, Mary. You're the caucus nominee. Board of Health, 3-year term. Current incumbent is Daryl Beardsley. Is there anyone to nominate anybody for the Daryl Beardsley slot on the Board of Health? Yes, ma'am.
Andrea Stiller, 205 Woodland Street. I would like to nominate Daryl Beardsley.
Okay. Is there a second? There's a second for that. Okay. Are there any other nominations for Board of Health? One slot, 3-year term, current. Okay. There are none. Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed. We'll entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Daryl Beardsley to serve another thankless 3-year term on the Board of Health. Moved, seconded. All in favor, aye, before she changes her mind. Opposed, nay. Okay. Motion carries. Daryl, you're the caucus nominee. Thank you. Okay. Recreation Commission, 2 3-year slots. So we'll run, if there are more than 2 nominees, we'll run the election. Current members are Andrew Dearborn and David Goldberg, I think both of whom stepped down. So we're looking for fresh blood. And
Melissa Bowman, 26 Woodland Street. I would like to nominate Ed McGuire.
Okay. Ed McGuire. Okay. All right. Second for Ed McGuire. For the Recreation Commission. Okay. Anybody else for the Recreation Commission? There are 2 slots. What?
One is for 1 year.
I'm sorry. That one's 1 year. Were you nominating him for the 3-year or the 1 year, ma'am? For the 3-year. Okay. This is for the 3-year slot. So, there's only one nomination for the 3-year slot. Ed McGuire has been nominated and seconded. Anybody else for the 3-year slot? Okay, hearing none, I declare the nominations for the 3-year slot closed. And we'll entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for Ed McGuire to serve as Recreation Commissioner for 3 years. So moved, seconded. All in favor, aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Ed's in for the 3-year slot as the caucus nominee. Now we have one more slot, a 1-year slot. Recreation Commission, yes, sir.
My name is Michael Guthrie, 29 Lake Street, and it's my honor to nominate Patrick Bresnahan for the 1-year spot in Recreation Commission.
Okay. Moved and seconded, Patrick Bresnahan. Any further nominations for the 1-year slot for Recreation Commission? All right. You can say something about Mr. Bresnahan if you wish, but he's running unopposed, so.
I get it.
Okay. All right. Hearing none, I declare the nomination closed. We'll entertain a motion. The clerk cast one ballot for Patrick Bresnahan to serve as Recreation Commissioner for a term of 1 year. Moved, seconded. All in favor, aye. Opposed, nay. Okay. Patrick's in caucus nominee for the 1-year term. Oh, Patrick, can you stand up? I feel like that old Monty Python routine. Will you please stand up and then bad things happen? Okay, constables. 2 slots, 3-year term. There's been some lighthearted debate, but I want to be clear. Sherborn constables do not carry guns. This is not that kind of constable. It's not Wyatt Earp. You post things on churches and town hall and stuff like that. If you want other constable roles like carrying guns and serving process and stuff, that's slightly different. So, are there two candidates, Ronald Buckler, Joshua Buckler? Are there any nominees for constable for a 3-year term? Yes, ma'am.
Do you want them one at a time, Rick?
Sir.
Okay, I nominate Ron Buckler.
Okay, Ron Buckler's. Is there a second for Ron Buckler? There is a second for Ron Buckler. Okay, anybody else for another slot? I hope.
For the second spot, I have another name.
Right. Yes, please.
Oh, you want the name?
Yes, please.
Steve Petty.
Steve Petty. Steve Petty? Okay. I mean, Steve Petty.
That's your last line, Rick.
Okay. We have 2 nominated and a second. So we have 2 two slots, two candidates. Are there any other nominations for a constable for a 3-year term for the town of Sherborn? None. Okay. And they've both been seconded, right? Okay. So hearing none, I declare the nominations closed and entertain a motion that the clerk cast one ballot each for Steve Petty and Ron Buckler to serve as our constables for another 3-year term. All right. And Steve Petty, you're right there. Would you stand up for people who don't know you? And Ron Buckler, I don't think Ron's here, right? No, Ron's not here. Okay. You're our caucus nominees. Okay. Oh, sorry. All right. So, got to vote what? I beg your pardon. I declare the nominations closed. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Another nail biter. Okay. Almost done. A few last steps. Then you can get out of here. Jeff Waldron, I think you wanted to address tonight's meeting. Here you go.
I don't think we can let him leave. He's got to practice a little bit harder. Sorry about that. I said we need to keep him. So most of you in town know Jackie Morris has served as town clerk for about 5 years, including running our annual town meeting and including doing it in the DPW garage in the middle of COVID. And she served as assistant town clerk for years prior to that. In this role, she's had to adapt to incredible legal and electoral changes, including early voting and mail-in balloting. And although this wonderful committee runs the annual town caucus, it's heavily dependent on the town clerk, as you can see tonight, to ensure that the process and procedures successfully populate the ballot in May. Through all this turmoil, Jackie's endured and succeeded in keeping Sherborn's elections incredibly well run, and I would like to ask all of you to join me in thanking Jackie for everything she has done, most of which we had no clue needed to be done, and for being such a positive, dedicated town employee and extended family member. And I'm going to be in big trouble tomorrow.
All right. Jeff, thanks very much. Back to business. May I please have a motion empowering the 2025 Sherborn Town Caucus Committee to fill any vacancy occurring as a result of a caucus nominee dying, withdrawing, or becoming ineligible for the position prior to the election. There's a second. So moved. Is there a second? There's a second. Okay. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Ha! We're still running the show. All right. May I please have nominations for at least 3 members of a 2026 Town Caucus Committee? Anybody want to nominate Meg, for example? Okay. Oh, we have a nomination for Meg Hyde, amazingly. Okay. Is there a second for that? There's a second for that. Okay. Are there any other people who are going to be nominated?
I nominate Abby Fisk.
Okay. You're supposed to come up to the mic and tell everybody where you live. Just because you're a committee member doesn't mean you get special treatment.
Meg Hyde, 23 Mill Street. I nominate Abby Fisk.
Okay. Second. All right. Ms. Fisk, do you want to identify yourself? There she is, back at the back. Okay. And are there any other nominees?
Meg Hyde, 23 Mill Street. I nominate Doug Brown.
Doug Brown. Okay. Doug Brown, are you here? There he is. Raise your hand. Okay. Good. Okay. Are there any other nominations beyond Meg Hyde? Oh, and there's a second for him, too. And there's a second for Abby. Okay. So, Meg, Doug, and Abby have been moved and seconded as the 2026 Caucus Committee. May I please can we please have the clerk cast one ballot for each of them? So moved, seconded. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Ha, you're stuck with it. All right. May I please have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Seconded. Oh. Oh.
Meg and I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank our fearless leader here, Rick Novak, for the great job that he's been doing on the Caucus Committee. As many of you know, Rick is not only retiring from the Caucus Committee, but he and Peggy are going to be moving out of town and into retirement up in Maine. Rick truly embodies what the caucus is all about, a citizen volunteer who devotes his time and energy to making our town a better place to live. Rick has done just that through many years of service, including the Planning Board, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and, of course, the caucus. His departure leaves big shoes to fill, as does Peggy's, who has served many years on the Historic District Commission.
To make sure you don't forget about this little town, we have a small gift for you. Your very own 01770 glasses to ensure you and Peggy have a bright and happy future in Maine. We also have a pair of oversized sunglasses, but Amazon didn't deliver them. Rick, thank you again for everything. We wish you and Peggy all the best in this next chapter.
All right. Now I'll take that motion to adjourn. It has been a real privilege to serve the town in various roles for a little over 35 years. And I'm only 29. So thank you all very much. Was there a motion to adjourn? Was there a second? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Opposed? Forget the opposed. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.